attack is going to be. Has he dreaded looking forward to today, or has he looked forward to it?
He's anxious.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, he is
Okay.
looking forward to it, but he's also anxious.
It's
I almost got hit by a car the other day. That's it. He was walking.
He did?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I got run over. I go. I didn't know to look for traffic is what he said. He has a tendency to look down because he can't
Well,
hear.
you know what? We think about hearing only being critical for communication, but it certainly has significant implications when it comes to safety and security. So
Quality of life.
I agree. Quality of life is
Quality of life.
included in that too. So
Yeah, he's pretty isolated, you know.
I believe that.
You have to have a rock just to kind of throw. No.
Well, if you can't hear something, you know,
You don't pay attention like the birds. He goes to birds singing.
Yeah, you're going to realize that the birds are not south year round.
Yeah.
Okay. Lee, in case I didn't introduce myself, my name is Mike Tuscan. I saw Rick the first time he came in to see me, and I'm going to be the audiologist that will be working with him and be responsible for bringing back quality of life for him.
No, you are, but
Can you hear through the hearing aids at all?
yeah.
Okay. Which ear did you hear the beep in just now? Which ear? But there you go. Good deal. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, you're going to hear some noise through the hearing aids. You just need to sit real still. Now, do I assume, are you videoing or?
yeah,
Oh,
for
okay.
his mom.
Oh, okay, okay.
I thought she couldn't be here, but she's the reason he is here.
Okay, good. So just sit real still. Okay, good. There we are. Okay, what I want to do first of all is I'm going to count to 5. When I get to 5, Lee's going to count from 6 to 10. When she gets to 10, you're going to count from 11 to 15. And then, I'm going to make a change to the hearing aids, and you're going to tell me if you liked the way things sounded when we first counted, compared to the second time we counted, okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Could you tell a difference the first time we counted compared to the second time we counted?
Yeah,
Which did you prefer, or which do you prefer?
the first one.
Is this a little bit too loud?
Mhm.
Okay, and that doesn't surprise me. Just so you know, Lee, and I don't know how long you guys have known one another or been acquainted with one another, but I'm surprised at the severity of your hearing loss and how you have survived
At
all
all.
this time.
Yes.
So I think you may be someone that we may need to take kind of a baby step to kind of get you accustomed to a hearing aid. And what you need to realize and what you need to be patient with is that when we flush a toilet, it makes a noise.
Really
When
bad.
we clatter keys, it makes a noise. If we're in a car and the window is down, you're going to hear wind noise. So it's going to take your brain a while to get used to all this stuff. So what we'll do is we're going to program it today where we agree to have it, and when you come back next time, you will have had a chance to wear this in the real world, and we can make adjustments to the hearing aids at that point in time. But I want to do something. I started out at a baby step, and I took a pretty big step. I'm going to turn it down a little bit and see if we don't have to go back to where it was when we first put it in your ear. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
I'm assuming this sounds softer than it was a second ago, but would you still say it maybe seems a little bit too loud?
Too loud.
Okay, and the thing is, if you feel it's a little bit too loud here when the room is quiet, what's it going to be like in the real world? So
Awful.
I would rather send you out with you coming back saying, boy, you know, Mike, I think I need to have it louder. Okay, so let's do this then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
We're getting really good counting to 15, aren't we? Does it sound better now, or would you say you
Right.
still liked it the way it was when we first put them in your ears?
I like it better now.
This is better. Okay. So what I'm going to propose that we do is leave them where they're at now. We have you scheduled for an appointment on the 12th of May. We're going to regroup at that point in time. We will do a test that actually measures what you're hearing through the hearing aids at that point in time. Okay? But let's leave them where they're at right now. A question for you, and whatever you decide, we can always change. These are digital and these are programmable hearing aids. And so I can make lots of adjustments to the hearing aids, kind of like I just did, although I didn't make a lot of adjustments, I made some slight adjustments. So the hearing aids are automatically going to adjust themselves based upon your listening environment. Does Rick want the ability to override what they're going to be doing automatically? In other words, there's a volume control on both hearing aids. We can give you the ability, if you want, to be able to turn them up and down a little bit if you want to.
I would like that.
You would like that, okay? Not to complicate things, but you have the ability to adjust the hearing aids individually, or we can make it so you can adjust, when you adjust one, it adjusts the other.
Even, probably.
I'm sorry?
When you just one, it does both.
Okay. Most people, if they want the volume control active, they want to make it so that when you adjust one, it adjusts the other one. So I say let's try that. If when you come back next time you say, I have wished there were times I could turn one up without the other, we can always give you that feature. The other thing, sometimes people find that they don't like the volume control, so we can always take that feature away. The volume controls will always be there, it's just a matter of whether I give you the ability to make adjustments, okay? Are you left or right-handed?
Right.
Okay, most of the time for right-handed people, because they're more adept at using their right hand, they want the right volume control to control both hearing aids. So we will do that. My biggest caution is to make sure that you don't overuse it. You shouldn't go to bed with a blister, I'm exaggerating, but you shouldn't go to bed with a blister on your finger because you're doing this all the time. Yes, the first couple days, maybe the first week or two, you're going to be wanting to adjust it because you're going to be amazed at everything you're going to be hearing, and you may want to turn some things down, or you may find, oh, I love Superman hearing, let me turn things up a little bit. So you can turn it up a little bit if you want to too, okay? So let me give you that feature. Device options. Do you talk on the telephone much?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you use a speakerphone, or do you use a cell phone or a landline phone?
Cell phone
That? Okay.
without speaker.
Without speaker? Okay.
I don't know why, but
I would encourage you, and I can't change what you're doing, but it's going to be easier to hear on the phone through both hearing aids if you use the speakerphone function. Now, the disadvantage of that is that if you're having a personal, confidential, private phone call, you don't want the whole world to hear, but typically, most people, that's really not that big of a deal.
I use the speaker.
So the speakerphone really works well. So I would encourage you to do that. If you want to use the phone the way you normally have, holding it up to your ear, you should be able to get along okay with the phone. Sometimes we run into problems. In fact, do me a favor. If you take your right hand and put it over your right ear, any squealing or whistling?
Kind of buzzing.
Okay, did it keep going or did it stop?
No, it kept going.
It kept going. Let's do the left one now too, please. Anything on that one?
Yeah, buzz.
A little buzzing. The buzzing is what we call feedback, and it's an acoustic property similar to if you've ever been any place where there is a PA system and you get too close to the microphone or they turn the gain up too much, you hear that loud, obnoxious squealing. Sometimes we have that with the hearing aid if we get something too close to the hearing aid. So on the telephone, you may have to, if you don't want to use a speakerphone, you may have to hold the earpiece of the telephone a little bit away from your ear, okay? And we won't know that until you come back next time. If you find talking on the phone is an issue and you don't like to use a speakerphone, we have another trick up our sleeve that we can add to your hearing aid that I don't activate on day one because I like to see how people do without having to mess with the hearing aid. Because on your hearing aid, you're going to find that there's a wheel, which is the volume control, and there's a tiny push button. I'm going to make it so that that push button isn't active. Okay, and I'll show you those in a little bit. Okay, so volume control, we want quick sync. We want it to be so that the left one doesn't have function, the right one does. You guys can't appreciate this, but I've been doing this since 1983.
it's
And the
amazing.
level of technology we have now is,
Phenomenal.
it's like comparing an ice box to a refrigerator that has an automatic ice cube maker and water dispenser. It's really fun doing my job.
Yeah, my dad I finally got him to get his
Oh, okay,
after my mom passed away. He's like, I'll be fine. I go, no, you're not.
okay,
So his where you could adjust him, he went to Arkansas, and they were digital something
Okay.
or other, but it was for so he could hear.
okay,
He worked at Firestone.
okay,
He could hear quietly, of course, but any noise, you know how that goes.
okay, exactly. Well, any of us, and you bring up a good point, Lee, sometimes patients expect to hear better than normal hearing people will, and if we go to a noisy restaurant, I have normal hearing, I struggle to hear even if I have normal hearing. So we can't expect a hearing aid patient to get along better in a noisy restaurant than someone with normal hearing. So
The bang, the clang,
Oh, yep,
this,
yep,
everything.
yep.
I don't
And-
like to go. I go when it's quieter.
And what will happen, your brain will get used to filtering out that stuff you don't want to hear. I kind of use the analogy, I have lineless bifocals. When I first got them, it was really hard to try to figure out how to hold things I was reading or whatever, and I've adjusted to it. So the lens haven't changed at all. I just kind of have adapted to how I have to hold my head when I use my glasses. I want to try something with you. I'm going to do two things, and I want you to tell me if you can tell a difference. She, see. She, see. She, see. She, see. Could you tell a difference the first two times I said that compared to the second?
I can,
You couldn't tell any difference at all? No? So we're gonna leave that on. Did you just hear a sound? When the batteries need to be replaced, if you're wearing them, they're gonna tell you. And you're gonna hear that sound, and you have 30 minutes before the batteries go dead.
yeah,
I will recommend that you change both batteries at the same time, because they're gonna go dead within about the same amount of time. Excuse me, and as we talked about before, and we'll talk about it again when you come back next time, batteries are covered through your insurance. You're just gonna call us when you need batteries, and we'll mail some out to you. And it's completely covered by your insurance. Now, a lot of people will say, how long is a battery gonna last? Approximately 7 to 10 days.
yeah.
Really?
Okay, so about once a week, every 10 days, you're gonna change the battery. What you may want to do is, if you guys have a physical calendar at home, the batteries that you use have a sticker. So what a lot of my patients will do, they'll get home and they'll put that on the calendar for today's date, and the first couple times they change the battery, they will keep track of battery life. And if you find consistently you're getting about a week out of a battery, you may be someone that says, you know what, it's just gonna be easier for me to change my battery every Friday. Even though it may not be need to be changed, it'll eliminate you going out someplace and maybe having the hearing aid go dead because you don't
Yeah.
have extra batteries with you. That doesn't mean that you're not gonna have that happen at least once in your life, but like I said, expect about 7 to 10 days out of a battery, and some of my patients will just say, you know what, I'm just gonna change my battery every Friday. I'm gonna be going through batteries a little bit more quickly, but this way I know I'm not gonna be out and about and maybe have my hearing aids go dead on me. Okay, so like I said, expect about a week to 10 days out of a battery. So that's the sound you're gonna hear when the battery needs to be changed. You're gonna hear sounds as you're turning the volume of your hearing aid up. And what I recommend is using your index finger and just finding the volume control and just twisting your wrist like this. Two fingers usually there's not enough space on the wheel to do that. Usually it's just the single fingertip. But let me play some different sounds for you. If you hear that while you're turning the volume control, you're making it louder or you're making it softer, okay? And it's very intuitive for Rick to turn the hearing aids up. You're gonna move the volume control clockwise. So forward makes it louder, backwards backs it off. Kind of makes sense. Another sound you're gonna hear, if you hear that, and I'll be honest with you, I play these sounds for everybody. Until you wear it and play with it, you're not gonna commit what these sounds are telling you. But that's the sound you're gonna hear when you've gone all the way to the attic and you can't turn it any louder, or you've gone all the way to the basement and you can't turn it any softer. Okay, so that tells you you're at the end of the range. And to be honest with you, I've given you a pretty wide range, but when you come back next time, know that we don't have this thing turned all the way up at all.
okay? So we still have a whole lot more room to turn it up. The other thing, let's say you come back and you say, you know what, I thought I liked the way it sounded, but in the real world, everything is way too loud. We can also turn everything down a little bit. But the beauty of the volume control is it's gonna give you some ability to make adjustments over the next couple weeks,
Okay.
okay? The other sound, every time you